What's up YouTube, TheKiddsGood here, and you're watching another episode of How to Win Fights, a Fortnite series where I go over clips where I win fights, outplay opponents, and review them so that you guys can start dominating at Fortnite. Don't forget, if you want to improve your gameplay, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn the notifications on because I make videos like this weekly. So let's jump right into it. So jumping right into the episode, in this clip right here, I have the height advantage and I see a guy who has not yet seen me. Before I take the shot though, I want to make sure I have a clear shot because I don't want to give him the opportunity to kind of be able to shoot back if I miss. So I wait for the clear shot, and luckily I land my sniper shot for 86 white damage, which is really important to note because if you hit somebody for white damage, that means they have no shields, they probably have no meds, and if you hit them for that much damage, it's time to get aggressive. So I use a bounce pad to get up close, and I want to continue to spam shots. I don't want to give him the opportunity to heal. That's very important. So I go ahead and build up on him. I can see very quickly that he's not the best builder. I know he only has about 14 damage, so I kind of risk it, jump down, and I'm able to take him out pretty quickly actually. So it's all about picking fights. When you hit somebody for that much damage and they don't have shields, you have to get aggressive to try to push them before they heal. So in this clip here, I actually landed at retail row. I noticed a guy coming in, and as I landed on the roof, I always want to take a second to see where everybody's landing, and I noticed a second guy flying in, and I always want to try to take a couple shots if I can because I want to make them as weak as possible while they are vulnerable. Now, my thought process here is when I land, and I definitely see two people landing close to each other, I want to get over there as quickly as possible. You can hear the shots going on right now. Sounds like somebody just won the fight, which means that the person who won the fight is more than likely pretty low on health, so I don't want to just sit around and loot. I've got a gun, I've got, even if I only had 100 health, I'd still get pretty aggressive because chances are he has pretty low health as well. So I take some height advantage. Now, when entering a fight like this, you want to get to the roof as quickly as possible because that's the highest point of contact. Now, in this situation, knowing he's in the attic, I've got two options. I can either tear through with my axe or I can shoot through. I've got 50 bullets, so I opt to shoot through. Luckily, I'm able to break through and land my Tommy gun shots to finish up the kill. This is why height advantage, and more importantly, audio cues are the most important thing to be aware of. So here we've landed at Pleasant Park, and I've got a guy who landed on the first floor of the house next door. Now, like I said earlier, when somebody is pretty close to you, when you first land, at least for me, I want to get aggressive. I want to get up in their face, and I want to stop them from essentially taking all of my loot and taking my shield. So as soon as I have a halfway decent gun and I get a shield, I'm going to get right up on the roof, and I'm going to get right up in their face. So I'm going to keep grinding materials while I'm in the house just to have enough materials that if we get into a pretty decent battle, I'm going to have a decent amount of materials, or at least more than he does, to protect myself. But like I said, my primary goal here is not to loot, it's to get on his roof and, get him to panic a little bit because, when you're in a house and somebody takes the roof from you, you can hear them up there and, you kind of freak out. What do I do? How do I get out? So I'm up on the roof, I'm listening for the audio cues to figure out where he is, and I don't want to sit on the roof for too long, so I need to get him to panic and run out of the house some way, shape, or form. So I throw the grenades, which serve two purposes. They're either going to scare him to run outside, which he does, or they're going to put holes in the ceiling, which allow for me to shoot down on him without wasting any of my ammo. So I might as well use them while I've got him. So I pay attention to his footsteps. I hear him running through the house, and then eventually I hear him run outside because it sounds a lot different when they run outside versus when they're in the house, and I can pinpoint that he's on this side of the house, so I decide to start taking shots with the Tommy gun. Now I overexposed myself and I used the wrong gun, so I retreat back over to the other side of the roof, I switch my guns, and I'm able to finish the kill. Now in this clip here, we're down to almost the top 10 when I see a guy ramping up to the mansion. I take a couple shots like I always do. If I have a clear shot, I'm going to take a couple shots to try to, bring down their shields before we get into a fight. I start building towards him. He's not the quickest builder, but he does have C4 he tries to throw at me. Now you have to be careful in these situations because he does have head cover, and I'm a little overexposed at this point. I go to try to build over him, and then I hear that he dropped down, ran in the house, and throws a trap. So there again, it's my advantage. I'm on the roof. He's probably camping somewhere inside. Now, when you're in a situation like this, it's important to turn up your headset. You really want to hear where they're at based on their footsteps. Now, at some point, I heard that he was on concrete, which leads me to believe that he's in the basement. But there again, I don't know for sure, and I don't want to assume because he could be, sitting in a closet and open a door and, one pump me. So I take this time to get my health up. You always want to do that if you have a breather. Get your health back to where it should be. and I want to slowly push towards him. Now notice I'm looking for traps. I heard a trap. I'm not sure where it's at, but I want to make sure that I don't get taken out by a trap, and I'm checking my corners as I'm pushing down. Like I said, I was pretty sure he was on concrete, which leads me to believe that he was somewhere down here. I jumped down, clearing the stairs. Now there's only really one other spot he could be, so I want to catch him off guard, and I just jump right over. I see him. He shoots me. Now I didn't know you could shoot through that. Now luckily with my height advantage, I'm able to headshot him for about 74 and finish the kill. Now, this is another situation where being aggressive, having the height advantage, and listening to your sound cues is very important. Now, here we're in a top 5 situation when I see a guy and I take a questionable shot, which only lands him for about 26. He starts to get defensive, builds up a wall, and I want to close the gap. Now, I didn't know he had RPGs. Now, once he starts shooting those RPGs at me, I've got to kind of take a step back because I don't want to get up and close when I don't have an RPG to fight with him. Now, for some reason, when he builds up and gets the height advantage, he chooses to not use that height advantage and comes back down to my level. I'm assuming it's because he was scared that I would shoot him down and he would take fall damage. But I was keeping in mind that I didn't want to get into a huge build battle with him because he had RPG, so if he had the height advantage, it would be an easy takeout for him. Now, had I chose to be overly aggressive and push right for him, he probably would have used his RPGs and taken me out pretty quickly. So luckily, I played a little passive and was able to win the fight. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That wraps up my How to Win Fights Fortnite series. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my series, Reviews for Improvement, where I'm the one that's getting outplayed. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until